Hello, beautiful people! We're back with another relatable guide. 2K Enraged Glacor with tier 85s. I told you I like it spicy, I won't ever lie. If I can do it with this, you can do it with less. You're a PVM legend with the skills you possess, and watching this guide will bring you success. You'll definitely get about 5 or 6 cores, so sit back, relax, and let's see what's in store. Glacor is an icy, spicy boy who finds joy in hurting adventurers who are just looking to have a good time. One sent him to Seniston to kick ass and take names, and that's exactly what this Wish version Telos does. If you love good PVM challenges but hate getting good loot, you're going to really love pushing Glacor and Rage. Let's go over some general information. Deaths are safe in normal mode, even for hardcore Ironmen. This boss is great for practicing PVM and has the unique feature of a fully customizable fight where you can turn on and off specific mechanics in normal mode. This is a great place for baby legends and legends in training to start honing their legend skills. In order to unlock the hard mode and rage version of the fight, you have to do one normal mode kill with all 5 of the mechanics on. This will be easy for you because you're a boss with the sauce. This boss does count for a Glacor Slayer task if you're into that sort of thing, and the Slayer helmet does work in normal mode. Legend has it that Glacor drops a frozen corn in rage mode, and everything else is available in both normal and in rage mode. In rage mode in solo only and is not safe. It caps at 4,000%. You cannot teleport out of the instance or use a death touch start if things get too spicy, so once Glacor spawns, buckle up and get ready for the ride of your life. At 500% in Rage, you unlock the Iceborne title. A Bronze title is unlocked at 1,000 in Rage, Silver at 2,000, and Gold at 4,000. Phew, let's talk about what we're bringing to the fight. Like all of my other totally relatable guides, we've got our Sea Singer with scavenging and looting. If you don't have scavenging and looting, are you even PVMing? Until you get to very high in Rage, you don't have to bring anything special. All you really need for this fight is a shield and a dream, so everything else that you bring is extra. You can poison Glacor, so weapon poison and Cinderbanes are a good way to go. For this kill specifically, I did a few things that I wouldn't normally do. I'm using my Ring of Death because I fully expected bad things to happen to me. No reason to pay death costs if you go in expecting to die. I brought extra super restores because I wasn't sure how long the fight would take me with this gear, and I also went ahead and yacked it up. I may or may not have considered even bringing a mammoth for a second. I've said it before and I'll say it again. You can do anything in this game with a positive attitude, a pack yak, and a minimal understanding of the mechanics. Knowledge is only half the battle. Now let's go over the other half, the actual battle. Buff up and hub and let's do it to it. You'll see at the beginning here, I didn't even remember to activate my aura. Totally relatable, right? Like I was saying earlier, Glacor has 5 mechanics. The auto attacks in between the spicy parts are magic. During a few of the mechanics, Glacor also turns parts of the floor into ice spikes. Run from the ice spikes. Ice spikes are bad. First up, we have the ice beams of death and despair. The beams follow you, and if they hit you, they really hurt, and they drain your prayer. They go away after about 20 seconds. In normal mode, there's 2 beams, and in enraged mode, there's 3 beams. Run from these beams however you want, but I do the same thing every time. I go to the southwest corner, then I go to whichever corner next to the ice spikes is safe, and then I run to the north side of the wall and surge all the way to the east. Let me explain my beam path in detail again, just because it's very important. If the beam spawns close to the north side, I wait a second and then I surge to the southeast corner. Then I walk to the northeast corner and surge to the far east side. I'm always ending on that far east side. Also, make sure that you surge way earlier than you feel like you normally would to surge through the beams, otherwise it gets really spicy. If the beam spawns closer to the middle or south side of the arena like you see here, I wait in my starting corner, walk over to the northwest corner calmly, surge to the northeast corner, and then I surge all the way to the far east side once the ice spikes go away. This method does require double surge, but it allows me not to have to switch weapons to bladed dive, and for me this has been super chill. Now let's talk about the cannon. In normal mode, the cannon only hits you once, and you can just resonance it and move on with your life. In enraged mode, the cannon hits 3 times, and you're gonna have to do some extra things to survive. First, you're going to make sure that you anticipate because the cannon does stun you. If you don't anticipate, make sure to use freedom to get rid of the stun. Next, you're going to use defensive like your life depends on it because it most certainly does. This cannon will send you to Death's office faster than you can say nom nom core me. In Enrage mode, as long as you're praying magic, you can use Devotion and you're going to be just fine. Just don't use it too early or I'll see you in hell. Make sure you wait until Glacor actually turns into a cannon to use it. If you don't have Devotion available, you can always Reflect and Debilitate. Using Resonance on the last hit in Enrage mode to cure yourself is a pro move, but if not executed well, it will be your doom. Next up, we have minions. When minions are alive, Glacor is immune. More than half of Glacor's mechanics involve us not really being able to damage him. So much fun. Just kill the minions and move on with your life. Grouping them up and using AoE attacks is ideal, but you can also take your time, enjoy the moment, and pick them off one by one. Who am I to tell you how to live your life? There are 4 minions, and at 250% Enrage, a 5th minion that is hella thick spawns with them. After you kill the minions, they leave behind minion droppings, and clicking on them will damage the boss. You can't miss them, they are bright yellow balls on the floor. Now let's talk about the hug mechanic. Glacor stops attacking and falls asleep, leaving you in his icy embrace. To get out, you just have to break one of his arms. The one on the right is weak to crush attacks and the one on the left is weak to fire spells. Good thing we're not using either of those. If you stay inside of the hug too long, it starts to hit harder and becomes a hug of death. You can use defensives to survive if things get spicy. This is a good mechanic to recover health with Soul Split, just don't forget to change back to magic before the spice level increases. Finally, let's talk about Flurry. This is the prayer switching fun bit. If Glacor leans back and sprinkles green on you like Salt Bae, you're getting hit with range. When Glacor reads his arm back and does a stabby jabby, you're getting hit with magic. If Glacor leans to the side and drops it low, you're about to get hit with melee. Rezzing one of these hits will save you precious food. Not that you need it anyways because you're an absolute legend who does no food kills. If you're doing higher Enrage, you might have to use other defensives like Devotion or Debilitate to avoid getting smacked too hard. Unless you're into that sort of thing. And now we get to repeat these mechanics over and over and over again until the boss dies or we die. But you're an unkillable PVM legend, so I know that you're gonna be A-okay. Now that we know what we're looking at, let's go over some general information about the mechanics. The mechanic order is random with limitations. It must cycle through all of the mechanics before it can repeat any of them. So if Glacor gives you a big old hug, it can't give you another hug until it's done all of the other mechanics once. Because of this, there is a chance for a mechanic to happen twice in a row, if it just so happens to be the last mechanic of one cycle and the first one of the next cycle. Double cannons are the work of the devil himself. Zammy would be proud of this level of chaos. You can hit the boss while the beams are active. I just focus on surviving. I'm a bit of a beam moth, and 9 out of 10 times if I die, it's because I went to hug a beam. I can't help myself, it's so shiny. Don't be a beam hugger. Finally, learning the animation that Glacor does before each mechanic will help you know what to expect. For Flurry, it's very obvious. The screen says that Glacor is focusing its attacks. For minions, Glacor puts up a shield really fast. Before a cannon, Glacor will often do more magic auto attacks than normal and spawn ice spikes. If Glacor stops attacking and brings up the ice spikes, you know a hug of death is on the way. Finally, if you're getting beamed by Glacor, he does a scoopy swoopy motion with his arm and spikes spawn from the far east side. So let's just talk while we finish this fight. I'm using Animate Dead, but it sure doesn't look like I am at this Enrage. Can you say ouch? I try to use Resonance whenever I remember to for the auto attacks during the fight to get some health back because I was hurting. And I also was using Reflect and Debilitate randomly to make sure that it hurt less. You'll also see a little bit of Soul Split flicking, maybe during a Flurry and during the minion phase, but I don't always do that. It depends on how much I'm paying attention and how much coffee I've had because things tend to get a little scary when I do that. I usually do higher Enrage with a Ripper Demon or Hellhound, and by higher, I mean up to 2000 because as you can see, I'm still currently pushing Enrage. That's why I didn't want to end my kill streak. I knew what I was signing up for. I would also normally use Maniacal Aura, but again, this was about to be spicy and there was no need to make it spicier, so I opted for Majorat this time. At lower Enrages, I use a Scripture of Fool and Maniacal normally, which is super fun combination if you find that the Glacor fight is bland and lacking some seasoning. Spice it up with extra low defense. Thank me later for your quick teleport to Death's office when you hug an Ice Beam. So I didn't do a 2k kill to be cool, not with my YOLO style of PVM. I just didn't want to end my kill streak like I said, but I don't have motivation to do this boss right now. You're going to see why at the end of the kill. My options were die and end the streak, or attempt a 2k kill with this setup. So I put on my big girl PVM pants and dug deep. My soul about left my body when I tried to res a basic and Glacor spawned minions. This was rough, and I'm not gonna lie, I kinda surprised myself. And to top it off, I wasn't a beam moth today. Honestly, this couldn't have gone any better for me. When this boss first came out, I was pretty excited. I thought that it might be a boss that I would fall in love with. This boss had everything going for it. Some randomness, some big booty drops, challenges. What more could a girl ask for? Well, I'll tell you what, loot. The mechanics aren't the only random thing about this boss. The common loot is also random as heck, in the sense that you could make hella Skrilla or lose GP, and I have not been making hella Skrilla. Now don't get me wrong, I don't have to make hella Skrilla to have fun PVMing, but this boss I feel like has been doing me dirty. And I mean, I could make more in an hour AFK at God War 2 and not take years off of my life from questionable resonance-induced stress attacks. What I'm saying is, maybe do this boss because you like it, because the drops can feel sad for a lot of people. I know people who have 4 cores and 2,000 kills and people who have 0 cores and 2,000 kills. Have fun, zen out, and get some cool titles. Watching this guide does give you 78% more chance of getting a frozen core though, so I'm sure you'll probably have about 8 of them by 1,000 kills. I don't know how far I'm trying to go with this boss, but I do love a good challenge, and getting the 2k title was like a lot of fun for me. And that's it! You threw a scarf on this icy boy and melted him into oblivion. Just so you can see what I was talking about earlier, I'm on a 22 kill streak I can't even say this without laughing. I'm on a 22 kill streak at 2000 in rage, and I've got almost 14 million GP in my chest. This just doesn't feel good. But mama didn't raise no quitters, so we're gonna keep on trying. Now that you're a Glacor spurt, go out there and get your cores. And yes, I got Lil Zuck this week! How cute is he? I brought a little piece of hell with me to the frozen lands. Thanks for watching, guys. If you learned something or had a good time, don't forget to like and subscribe. I really appreciate all of you. See you next time, friends!